guys, I'm back with another cooking video. Today I'm going to be making slow cooker garlic beef stroganoff. I absolutely love this recipe. It is so good and so easy to put together. Now, a couple modifications that's a little different than what you may see in other beef stroganoff recipes. Number one, I don't use mushrooms because I don't like mushrooms. Now, if you wanted to add mushrooms to this, you certainly could, but I don't like them. The second is the meat. Now, I've created this recipe chopped down from a longer recipe that had a lot more individual ingredients, and it also used different cuts, a different cut of meat, like you would have to brown each piece, and I'm not doing that. I just use ground beef. So I took a longer recipe, cut it down, modified it, made it my own, and this is what I've come up with. So for this recipe, you obviously need a slow cooker or a crock pot. You're going to need 1 pound of ground beef, some Worcestershire sauce, some cream of mushroom soup, beef bouillon, minced garlic, chopped onion. Now, obviously, I use the jar garlic and the frozen onions because why wouldn't you? A pack of cream cheese. Also going to need 1 cup of water, and then, of course, your noodles. So you do need to cook your meat before putting it into the slow cooker. But again, because I'm using ground beef and not, you know, cuts of meat that need to be chopped up and browned on every side, I just need to brown this up really quick and then get it all into the crock pot and let it cook. Okay, have my ground beef in the pan and I'm going to brown it up. I love this meat thing. It just can get the meat chopped up nicely because again, I'm not a big meat eater, so I like to make it as fine as possible. To be honest, if I didn't have my dad also here eating this, I maybe would either leave the meat out, use only half the ground beef, or maybe just use those meat crumble things, the vegetable burger substitute. But he likes meat, he needs to eat, so I am doing the ground beef. So I'm gonna let this brown up. While the meat is browning, I'm gonna go ahead and get the sauce ready in the crock pot. So I put in 2 cubes of beef bouillon, and then I'm gonna add in 1 cup of boiling water and then let those dissolve. Just gonna stir these around a little, get them to dissolve. Usually takes a minute or two, break them down. Okay, so the beef bouillons are pretty much dissolved, just kind of working in there to get them completely broken down. And then I'm gonna add in 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, undiluted. So don't make it like you make soup. Don't add this and then the water, just the cream soup as is. So the cream of mushroom soup is in. Now, I said I hated mushrooms, and I do, and I hate even the little chunks of mushroom in the cream of mushroom soup. It grosses me out, but I'm trying to get over it in the for the sake of time and just let it go. But I'm just going to mix this up a little, get it to dissolve, and then I'm going to add in the onion, the garlic, and the Worcestershire sauce. The Worcestershire sauce. Why is that so hard to say? But I like actually to say Worcestershire. So the onions and garlic are in. Now, I love garlic, so I put a honking spoon in. But again, you can modify it for your taste. If you don't want it to be so strong with garlic, you can cut down, or you can totally leave it out. It's really not going to make that much of a difference if garlic really bothers you. Go ahead and put the Worcestershire sauce in there. Again, you can do that to taste. And I will have the recipe linked below the video with all of the exact measurements. So at this point, I kind of eyeball it. You know, I threw some onions in, threw in some garlic. We just did a splash or 2 of the Worcestershire sauce, just so I can keep saying Worcestershire. But yeah, now just finish browning the beef. Gonna add that in, and we'll let it cook. Okay, beef is cooked, browned, and now I'm going to transfer the beef into the slow cooker. So mixing the beef into the sauce. And you can cook this 2 ways. You can do it on high for 2 hours or on low for 4. I'm running a little late today, so I'm gonna be doing the 2-hour version. Now again, you don't really have to worry about the cooking time so much. Everything's cooked, you're just letting the flavor sit. The 4-hour time is for sure if you're using, you know, cuts of beef that need to cook further and tenderize, but for this with the ground beef, it's just to get the flavors all blended together. So I'm gonna let this cook on high for 2 hours. Now the last 30 minutes, I'm going to add in the block of cream cheese and let that melt in, simmer, and get mixed in with the flavors. If I was doing this on low for 4 hours, I would add in the cream cheese in the last hour. But again, I'm speeding it up today, so the last 30 minutes will be fine. And towards the end of this cooking up is when I will go ahead and boil up the noodles. But those are the last 2 steps. So again, for me, I'll add in the cream cheese in the last 30 minutes, and that's when I'll start to make the noodles. So just gonna let this cook up now. Okay, down to the last 30 minutes of this cooking up, as you can see, and this is when I'm going to add in the block of cream cheese. So as you can see, it takes a little bit for the cream cheese block to melt, and chopped it up a little. I'm gonna let it sit in here for a few minutes, melt down, then I'll come back and stir it up. But now I'm going to go ahead and cook the noodles. Okay, waiting for the water to boil. Now I'm using the white egg noodles. I typically just throw the whole package in the water. I like more noodles than sauce. My dad likes more sauce than noodles. So I typically just make the whole thing. Now, if you are going to have leftovers, keep the noodles separate from the sauce when you store them. If your whole family's going to eat this in one sitting, once the noodles are cooked, throw it in the sauce, be on your way. But if you think you're going to have leftovers for the next day, keep them separate because the noodles soak up all the sauce, and by the next day it'll be really dry. So we'll definitely have leftovers. So even though I'm going to cook all the noodles, I'll serve us each, you know, our individual portions, and then keep them separate to reheat tomorrow. But again, you can double the sauce recipe very easily if you want to double the recipe. Sometimes I make 2 servings of the sauce, and then I put some in the freezer for the next time I want to make this. So again, it's just your personal taste and how much you actually want to have on hand. It's been a few minutes since I put the cream cheese block in, and it is pretty much melted down. Just kind of mushing it in there, make sure it gets all dissolved, and then just this last half hour here to soak in. And again, like I said, if you're cooking this on the longer time, you put the cream cheese in at the last hour. Since I did the shorter time, I'm just doing the last 30 minutes. So I didn't quite put the whole bag. I'd say I put 80% in, which is probably a little much, but that's okay. So these cook up relatively quickly. What do we have? Oh, 5 minutes for al dente. I don't like al dente. I want them softer, so I'll do 7 minutes on these. While I appreciate the safety feature, my vent will not stop running because the oven was hot. I'm trying to film the end of my cooking video, and the stupid vent is running. It won't let me turn it off either. Come on. Okay, the vent has finally stopped running. I went ahead and I plated up my dad's dinner. As you can see, he likes more sauce than noodles, so I loaded him up there, but that is what it looks like. So the recipe, again, is over on my blog. The link to that is below, and you can print it out over on my blog if you want to do that and have a printout copy. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you like this recipe, if you make it, leave me a comment. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Lets me know you'd like me to do more recipe videos. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to my channel for more content like this. So until the next time, thank you guys for watching. Bye.